viewers here of the RCWR show, keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive since 2011. I'm coming at you guys with your WWE Money in the Bank 2020 pay-per-view recap and review post-show. And I appreciate those of you that are going to be tuning in, checking this out live for the next little bit that I'm going to be on the air. I promise you guys, because I know if you're joining us live, I know probably by now there are a lot of you guys that probably have already made your rounds checking out what other podcasts had to say about tonight's pay-per-view event, or maybe you're going to be checking this out on demand and or on the downloads. And one thing I want to say to you guys up front, the last thing I'm going to do is have my pay-per-view recap be long-winded. I know a lot of times I tend to be a bit long-winded, but I'm going to do my best to make this be as condensed as humanly possible, because I do appreciate you all's time and the fact that you go out of your way and you check out the content, especially you guys that keep coming back on a regular and everything. So real quick, before I dive any further and get ready to talk about tonight's pay-per-view, if you were expecting me to come on immediately as soon as Money in the Bank went off the air, I actually was helping out my buddies over at Wrestling Soup, as Mish is on a little bit of a mini break right now. Everything is going good. He's just taking care of some personal matters, but he's going to be back, I believe, it's coming Tuesday or Wednesday. So actually this weekend I was helping now in the background, recording, editing the shows that they were putting out these past couple of days. So I've been helping them out from that standpoint, and they actually did just wrap up a post show of their own. So I'm gonna have me actually a nice long night, as I'm gonna be kicking back editing, and not just my show, but I'm also gonna have to turn around and on top of recording what the boys over at Souphead did, which was awesome. I've also got to edit that audio, get that nice and hooked up, get that to Mish so he can upload that on all the platforms and everything. So I'm happy that I'm normally off on Mondays. So the way I got my schedule set up right now with work, no matter what, I'm always off on Sundays and Mondays. And quick programming note with regards to Monday in a little bit. So that's why we did not immediately come on after Money in the Bank went off the air. So at the time we're doing this right now, it's basically the beginning of Monday morning. So if you're joining us live, a very good morning. And if you're going to be checking this out on demand later, hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So one thing about this pay-per-view off the break, there's a lot of bad in this. I will say that off the break. There's definitely a lot of bad in this, but there's some good in this as well. And I did poll you guys, as always, wanted to know what you guys thought about tonight's WWE Money in the Bank pay-per-view. So take your pick. If you have Twitter, vote. Twitter poll at the RCWR show, asking you guys over there. If you got the YouTube, you're checking out the webcast version of the show on YouTube, click on over the communities tab and you can cast your vote over there. And just to give you guys a little bit of a gauge as far as what's going on right now, I'm seeing that on Twitter amongst our own respected RCWR show listeners, I'm seeing that 27.3% gave tonight's pay-per-view a thumbs down. Meanwhile, 72.7% of you gave it a thumbs up. Now, we just happen to give that same poll to the folks over on WWE's official Twitter account, and a bit similar, 33.3% gave the pay-per-view a thumbs down. Meanwhile, 66.7% a thumbs up. Now, over on YouTube, on the community section, I'm seeing that 17% of you gave the pay-per-view a thumbs down. Meanwhile, 83% a thumbs up. So, you know, I wish we could break that down a little bit more, because I wonder if the majority of us that gave the pay-per-view a thumbs up really gave it a thumbs up because there was maybe one or two matches in particular that was our absolute favorites that made the pay-per-view worthwhile to check out. I'm very curious. Let's really dive into this card here. So, and by the way, at the time that we are live, we are doing this, it's simulcast. We are streaming on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and we're streaming on Mixer as well. Relatively a newcomer to Mixer. So I know last time when we were doing a show, we had we had a couple of people from Mixer that actually had popped in and said hello and everything. But however you're checking out the show, appreciate you guys. So every time you guys are saying something, I can actually see, no matter where you're coming from those platforms, I have just one chat where I can just see where everybody is coming from. So, checking this out, feel free to pop in, say hello and everything. I'll definitely do my best to acknowledge you in real time. So pre-show, look, before I go into the matches, overall, some areas I could have done without for the pay-per-view. Others was just fine. One thing that I do want to commend WWE for is that they pretty much in and out with this pay-per-view. And my whole thing is, when you have a case like this where, hey, we don't have fans right now. Some stuff we can do that's live, and then there's other elements we can do that can be pre-recorded and we can mix it in here. Hey, we can pretty much be in and out. And I love the fact that WWE, with regards to this pay-per-view, they did not try to drag it out. I'll take this a step further, kind of following up on a recent interview that Triple H had gave and everything, where he was talking about, in retrospect, having WrestleMania be a 2-night event and everything. I'm not sure how many of you guys had caught that interview that he did, but Triple H said, hey, it's definitely better than having folks sit through practically almost 8 hours of one show in one sitting, when you really kind of stop and think about it. And to his point, it actually was a rather smart move that they did. But I appreciate the fact that WWE has continued. I don't know if it was more of a conscious effort on their part, but I do appreciate the gesture. I love the fact that not just with WrestleMania, but this is the first pay-per-view officially since WrestleMania, but that they said, okay, we just need to be in and out with regards to these pay-per-views. And the fact that this pay-per-view came on at 7, and it did not go off, because 7 was the official start time, and it did not go off until about almost 9:30. So, okay, you got essentially a pay-per-view that's 2 hours and, 15, 20 minutes or something of that nature. You're going, okay, well, that's pretty damn good. They got to keep that rolling. In a nutshell, that's a very good thing. Anytime that you don't have fans that's just continuing to sit through these pay-per-views, and it's just, oh God, 1 hour's pass, the second hour's pass, wait a minute, we're still not quite done yet. Like, when is this going to be over? So I appreciate the fact that tonight a pay-per-view went off at essentially 9:30, and you're able to go, hey, it's still early. I could go walk the dog real quick. I didn't check the mail. Let me go check the mail. Hey, I can go put out the trash. I don't have to, I'll take my shower in the morning. I can actually hop in the shower at a decent hour, come out, still watch the nightly news, and whatever your nightcap is going to be for the night, okay, you're good to go. So the fact that it went off so early, very good thing. WWE definitely needs to keep that going. The other thing that I got to give WWE props on is the fact that they try to do their best to think outside of the box. And particularly what I mean by that is how they handled that Money in the Bank ladder match. And it was very interesting how they went about that. We'll talk about that in a hot second. Pre-show matchup, Jeff Hardy defeating Cesaro. Sadly, I did not watch the pre-show. I got to be honest with you. I wasn't even aware that they were doing a pre-show. Normally, as I always do, when it comes to these WWE pay-per-views, the day of, I normally will go to their website and I actually see, okay, are they doing anything? And, oh, no, they're not doing anything. Okay, all right, cool. Because normally when you go on their website, and you guys notice if you frequent their site enough, one of the first things that you'll see when you go on the website the day of the pay-per-view is you'll see them plugging the pay-per-view, and then when you click on the thumbnail, it gives you all the information. Normally it says kickoff is at blah, blah, blah. And so I'm thinking, okay, I'm not seeing anything about a pre-show. There's no kickoff. Oh, okay, all right, good, all right, cool. But I didn't know until sadly after the fact that there was a kickoff pre-show, and I was a little bit bummed out, but not to the point I don't want to try to go out of my way to see what the hell went down. But Jeff Hardy, and I'll have to rely on you guys that actually saw the pre-show. You can let me know and let everybody else know that's going to be checking this out on demand and on the downloads there. Interact all throughout social media. How'd you like that match? But to hear that Jeff Hardy had defeated Cesaro, that's the right move, because right now Jeff Hardy is on this path of a redemption storyline. He is on this, what really feels like a last ride, just to kind of borrow it a little bit from The Undertaker. That's essentially what's going on with Jeff Hardy. This is his one last big hoorah. And so I want for, as I had said on the show earlier this week, I really want for Jeff Hardy to end things in WWE on the right note. I really, really, really want for him to, in a perfect world for me, for Jeff Hardy, he becomes the world heavyweight champion again. I don't care if it's for Raw. I don't care if it's for SmackDown. Hell, it could even be NXT. I'm just saying anything can happen right now, but I definitely want to see him as a world heavyweight champion one more time and have a nice, good, lengthy title reign. I'm not picturing anything that would go for a year, but I am picturing something that could go maybe 6, maybe 7 months. That's a nice, good, long run. And I just want things to end for him on the right note. I was happy that Matt Hardy was able to come back to the WWE. And although he wasn't essentially able to end things on the note that he wanted. And I said this time and time again on the show within recent weeks, ever since he pretty much decided not to renew his contract with WWE. I really wish they would have gave him more leeway with the broken/woken character. I really wish they would have gone all in with him and just use him as a sponge and just, okay, what are you trying to do? Where you see this going? I really wish it would have been a beautiful partnership and everything. And we see what's been going on with him in AEW. He's on a good hot streak right now. I mean, that's one of the highlights for me right now in AEW, is seeing what is Matt Hardy going to do next, much like how it was with him in Impact Wrestling. So I look at Jeff and I just say, yeah, Jeff, please, just knocking. I have my fingers crossed. I'm knocking on wood. I'm hoping that no injury, no demons get the best of him this last go round, and that he's able to end things in WWE on his terms. Because after all, eventually he's gonna team up with his brother down there in AEW. So the fact of hearing that Jeff Hardy had went over Cesaro tonight makes perfect sense, because he is on that path of a redemption storyline right now. So right guy won tonight, just based off what I'm hearing with that. If you guys disagree with that, definitely feel free to comment and let me know, because as I mentioned a few seconds ago, do have the chat and I can see any and everything that's happening right now. So continue on here. That was our one and only pre-show matchup that we had got for tonight. And please, by the way, if you guys are checking out the show, hey, appreciate if you share, you retweet, and if you're checking out the webcast version on YouTube, hit the like button because that plays a huge role in YouTube recommendations because they do look at their algorithm, and one of the factors, just one of the factors, and out of 100%, I would say it's maybe 3%, but that 3% is pretty huge when it adds up. But basically, one of the things that they look at is the retention time, and retention has never been a problem for any of our videos from what I'm able to see. Each piece of show that we put out every single week for you guys. But if we can try to, going forward here, if we can try to get more likes for our content, that would be great because that also plays into YouTube saying, hey, you're in the WWE, right? Okay, well, we recommend you check this out because, based on what other people have felt about this creator, this is actually pretty good. So check this out. It means a lot. And it's free. That's the beautiful part. It's free. It doesn't cost you a thing. New Day defeating, this is the actual pay-per-view card that we're going to now. New Day defeating the Forgotten Sons, which consisted of Steven Cutler and Wesley Blake with Jason Riker, not to be confused with Real Riker, Star Trek Next Generation. Defeating Morrison and Miz and the Lucha House Party's Grand Metalik with Lince Dorado. It was a fatal four-way match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. I hate to say I told you so because when you go back and when you look at the predictions that came about for this, and by the way, on Monday's show, not this Monday, which is at the time we're doing this now, it's now Monday of May 11th, but last Monday, I actually had previewed Money in the Bank and I offered match predictions, and just looking at how I had did tonight and talking about that fatal four-way tag match, I'm just going through one of my previous tweets here, and I found it. I said New Day, and if you guys are curious as far as the matches go, let me look here. I messed up with only two matches. Only two matches I had messed up on. The other matches, sadly, how was I supposed to know those matches were going to be added? Because, it's like at the time that I'm trying to figure it out. I think Monday, when I looked at the card, offered my picks, that pretty much was it. And I never did revisit again because I think we did one more show, I want to say Thursday. So I couldn't even, as far as I can remember, I did not look at the card one more time. So to only mess up in two areas, not too shabby, not too shabby. But New Day retaining, that's the direction that I had went last Monday when I was offering preview and predictions. But at the same time, I did go on record and say, if you really wanted to make some heads turn, going with, and again, you can go back and listen to last Monday's show, I did say in my own way, if you wanted to kind of maybe make some heads turn a little bit and you want to maybe put the Forgotten Sons on the map, you want to give them a little bit of a rub. But I felt that it was just way too soon, because we're still trying to establish these guys and everything. And for me, it didn't make sense to go with Miz and Morrison, because if you were going to go right back to Miz and Morrison, then one could make the argument, well, wait a minute, if we're going to go right back to Miz and Morrison, have them win the titles, then what was the whole point in having them drop the titles at WrestleMania to or whichever was, whether it was WrestleMania or that following week SmackDown? Like, what was the whole point? And if they're going to get them right back, I mean, we're really setting the tone that The tag titles are nothing but props. Now, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Now, it's almost starting to make just a little bit of sense. A little bit of sense now. Why New Day has those tag titles, given the outcome of the Money in the Bank ladder match. Kind of doing a little bit of a teaser right there for you guys. But, you know, okay matchup. If you ask me if the right team had won, I'm going to say, for now, given where I feel things are happening here, the way things are going with the current story arc, I'm going to say yes. But if it deters from what I think is going to be the story arc, then it's kind of, wait, what are we doing here? But, you know, okay tag match. It was an okay tag match. All right, next up, Bobby Lashley. Lashley defeating R-Truth. Singles match. Here I go once again. Why I gotta be black on black? Why I gotta be two brothers fighting each other, man? Where's the love, man? Come on, man. What's going on here? Soul power. Yeah. So R-Truth thought initially he was gonna be taking on MVP. Boy, was he wrong. Turned out it was Lashley, and I love R-Truth. I really do. I love him. And just to hear that Bruce Arians, the coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is talking trash, and he's saying, hey, R-Truth, you know, he better watch out, because, you know, I don't think he's the only one that's interested in that 24/7 championship that Gronk got. Shit, I might try to take some of that myself. I might get it for myself. So R-Truth might have to wait in line. The fact that that coach is so tuned in to all things that's pop culture, entertainment, I love that about him. And even just hearing Brady's name now being thrown into the mix, just based off what we had heard tonight in the memes that came, little cool cartoon images that came from it and everything, you know, you're going, oh, well, this is okay. This is, I gotta tell you, man, I love R-Truth, and I have even more respect for him after watching his WWE 24/7 special. And I know that's something that I really did not get a chance to really put over, and I apologize tremendously for that. But yeah, man, I would highly recommend, if you didn't get a chance to check that out yet, do yourselves a favor. Hey, Ghost, what's going on? Do yourselves a favor and check out the R-Truth WWE 24/7 special. I think it's a 24/7 special or a Chronicle special. You'll know it when you see it, though. I was just, wow. Yeah, I knew about his story, but I mean, it was so, I didn't know about that. It was so eye-opening. I felt it was so revealing, and it just had me walk away and not only have even more respect and admiration for R-Truth, but just really appreciate the man to the point where, I mean, he just has my utmost respect, and I just can't help but really root him on. You know, root him for the greatest success. And I mean, he seems like such a humble guy. I gotta tell you, if I can be honest for a second, I just saw many aspects of his life and how he was growing up. I just saw some aspects of his life in the early years before he found pro wrestling and everything. I found a lot of myself. Again, in his earlier years, I found a lot of myself and how I was growing up. Man, it's so relatable. So relatable. It doesn't matter what your race is. It's just, you know, when you felt those hard times and you grew up poor knows no race. Okay? So you know exactly what I'm talking about. So those of you that saw the R-Truth, you can definitely relate, but I just can't help but root him on. And every time I see R-Truth these days, I know I'm going to get something with him that is entertaining. But him and Lashley, he just could not bring out the best in anything from fucking, he could not bring out the best in anything from my man Bobby Lashley tonight. And to Maximiliano, through Facebook. Hey man, nobody's forcing you at almost 12:30 in the morning to watch this show. This is not the ESPN Sports Center show. This is not fucking, first things first or hot take or whatever like that. You're coming onto my stream and shit, dude, if you're not feeling what you're feeling, nobody's forcing you. Go take a hike. Go take a hike. Seriously. Sorry, guys, I had to address that one knucklehead because I see a comment that had came in on Facebook, and I think he's just honestly trolling. And I'm like this, it's one thing, if you're going to offer criticism, offer ways of, hey, I'm checking you out so far. Here's my issue that I have. If you could maybe work on this, maybe work on that, that's one thing. But if you're just coming into a fucking joint and you're just fucking trolling, I'm sorry. That just makes me go, you're not even worth my fucking time. You're not even really worth my energy. And dude, you're not. Oh yeah, no wonder. It's a little kid. It's a little kid. Yeah. Hey, kid, what are you doing up at 12:30 in the morning? You look like you're fucking 11 or 12 years old. Take your ass to bed. How about that? Does your mommy and your daddy know you're up right now? What do you do? Are you trying to look at porn or something? Is that why you're so upset? Because you're expecting a hot blonde with big tits to be talking about wrestling or something? Take your little ass to bed. Seriously. Yeah, we had like 11, 12-year-old kid. Of course you're gonna find this show probably boring. You know why? Because I'm not on here talking about, and then Bray Wyatt came down. He had all these cool puppets and everything was just so radical and it was just so cool. No. If you're new to the RCWR show, let me first tell you guys that the way I put this show out there because we actually listen to our audience. I follow the analytics constantly, week in and week out. The oldest that we have for listeners, they are between the ages of 21 to 54. 21 to 54. So if we have a 11 or a 12-year-old that's going to be coming in here and he's going to be talking shit, yeah, 9 times out of 10, we probably are not really that kid's cup of tea. Because we're not really going to be going at it the way that little kid would like for us to go at it. So people that's under the age of, I would say, 16, yeah, you're probably going to be out of your element with this one. So rest assured. Anyway, before we were kind of interrupted there, yeah, hey, it happens though, because something that I've tried to strive myself for in 2020 is definitely doing my best to be as more interactive as possible. And that's one of the main reasons why I decided, okay, you know what? We need to do our best to really stream on multiple platforms and try to get more people engaged, more people involved in everything. But at the same time, okay, treat me with respect, because the way I come at everybody the way I want to be treated. I'm going to show you the ultimate fucking respect. And I don't care if you're a man, I don't care if you're a woman, I don't care about your political affiliation, your religion, none of that bullshit. The only thing I care about is I'm giving you respect. I expect respect in return. I expect it. I treat everybody the way I want to be treated, and that's with respect. So once I get that disrespect, it's kind of like once burned, you're not even worth my fucking time. That's just how I roll. It's each its own, but that's just how I fucking roll. But I'm trying to figure out if there was anything else I had wanted to add there with regards to that match between Lashley and R-Truth, which was this point, now that I'm thinking about it. Truth, for what I was saying originally, he just couldn't make this entertaining. He just couldn't. And for me, I'm just really kind of left scratching my head right now, kind of wondering what's going on here with this Lashley thing, because now that Rusev has been taken out of the equation, think about this for a second. You had one of the hottest things that was going on storyline wise in WWE. For WWE, I'm not saying for fans. I'm saying as far as WWE was concerned, you had one of the hottest story angles that was going on, which was Rusev, Lashley, Lana, all into the mix. And now that Rusev is gone, and essentially, okay, well, that takes care of that. Okay, so now it's, what are you gonna do now? What are you gonna do now? And as we've seen, WWE is kind of scratching their heads right now, not really sure what they're doing exactly with Lashley. I mean, you can tell just by looking. And to pair him up with R-Truth, if R-Truth can't even bring out the best from an entertainment standpoint with a guy like Lashley, I get on paper what the bookers were trying to do. I think they were trying to go for their, hey, remember when we had R-Truth in the ring and he had that great entertaining segment with Brock Lesnar? Remember that? Okay, well, maybe we can kind of do something a little bit similar with Lashley to a degree, but it just did not resonate whatsoever. It just didn't. So, minute, 40 seconds, squash match, Lashley going over. Bayley successfully defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Tamina. I gotta tell you, I was expecting this. I knew this was gonna happen. I said to you guys, what role was Sasha maybe gonna play? And she was at ringside doing her little things, but mostly just standing around in the ring and everything. But for me, this matchup, I gotta tell you, just looking at the matches so far, now I know I did not see the pre-show match between Jeff Hardy and Cesaro, so I'll disqualify myself from that matchup. I did see the tag match. Didn't care about Lashley or R-Truth. For me, as far as singles matches for this card tonight, I've got to go with Bayley defeating Tamina. I thought that was a really entertaining matchup, but I'll tell you the reason why I thought that was a really good matchup, because I liked what I was seeing in Bayley. Bayley was trying to go above and beyond to really put Tamina over. Don't believe me? Don't take my words for it. If you haven't seen the pay-per-view yet, go back, check it out, see it for yourself. But for me, I really felt that Bayley was going above and beyond to put Tamina over. And I just was in amazement as I was watching this, and I couldn't help but go, well damn, I love this. And you've heard me come around within recent months. I've tried to show Tamina, more love. Actually, I've always had a soft spot for Tamina. I just think probably ever since maybe the last injury or the injury before, I've just been wanting a lot more from her, because if you ask me straight up, I see how talented she is. I think about the rich history. And when I say I see how talented she is, I'm talking about in the ring. She may not be a Charlotte Flair. She may not be a freaking Rhea Ripley or anything like that, but or Mia Yim, but she is entertaining. At least she entertains me whenever she's in the ring. So for me, last couple of injuries that she's had, I've just really been rooting her on. I've been really wanting for her to, all right, come on, girl, be healthy. I need you to get in there. And there's actually that part of me that's been really wanting to see her have her moment to shine. I feel if there's anyone that's very deserving of, okay, and I hate to go in that direction, because you see, here's where it gets a little tricky, and I kind of have to address this. Here's where it gets a little tricky, because on the one hand, you go, okay, so you're telling me for all of the time, the energy that you've put into this employer that deserves some type of hey, we appreciate you. We gonna toss you a bone. You can kind of say, hey, yeah, that'd be kind of nice. And you look at what went down with Kofi Kingston and you go, well, it couldn't happen to a cooler guy. He got the opportunity. We saw what happened with that. And yeah, Now, if you were to ask me, would Tamina be better than a Kofi Kingston title run? You ask me right now, as it stands tonight, I'll say hell yeah. I think a Tamina run as a champion would go over 10 times better than a Kofi Kingston world champion run. Yes, yes, I'm very confident in that. Very confident in that. You've already got the built-in storyline. And can we just go back to when I was offering match predictions and all that earlier this week? I said, hey man, with all that shit that went down, actually, I teased it, but I didn't really expand upon the thought. And the thought I was trying to expand upon was, if you guys had checked out that Dark Side of the Ring episode on Vice about Jimmy Snuka, Nancy Argentino, then you guys know where I'm going with this. Man, all the shit that went down during the month of April with Vince McMahon. That episode of Dark Side, the XFL, just all that shit. You want to try to spend some positive shit, do some type of PR shit or whatever. Man, if there was ever a time going into Money in the Bank and you maybe wanted it to, you know what? Let's put Tamina over. You've got such a great built-in storyline right there. The 24/7 special that you could do off with Tamina, having her address the controversies there surrounding her father, really having her open up, go on record and everything like that. There was that part of me as I was looking at the matches. I did say, okay, as far as a swerve, I could see a swerve in Strowman taking on Wyatt, but Bayley taking on Tamina, a long shot, but you could have maybe put a little bit of an asterisk by that and said something could happen right here. The fact that it didn't happen tonight, I'm not ruling out that Tamina is never gonna have that time to shine in the spotlight, but I'm happy she's back on the main roster. I'm happy that she's having these really good matches. I have a lot of respect for what Bayley had did tonight against Tamina, really putting her over, went above and beyond, and she really did not have to do that. She really didn't, but she did. She went in there, made Tamina look like $1 million fucking dollars. Love the fucking story that they had told in that matchup. Great story that you were able to get behind from beginning to end. Great psychology. Loved it. Loved it. Ate it up. Braun Strowman taking on Bray Wyatt for the WWE Universal Championship. Braun Strowman retaining the title. Man, where do we go with this one? I had a hard time getting into this match. I really did. For me, we need to stop having Bray Wyatt come out with his fucking Counting Crows outfit on. You know, he's coming out there. He's got the whole, you know, Mr. Jones and me, we're gonna smoke big bongs. I need that look to just be retired. When I hear that Wyatt is going to be facing so-and-so, I need for people, the way I need for WWE to do it, I need for WWE to essentially play mind games with whoever the opponent is that Bray Wyatt is facing. I need for that opponent to be experiencing the mind games, the psychological games from Bray Wyatt. Okay, you'd think that you're going to be facing Bray Wyatt, the Fiend or whatever. It brings me to another point. You got a lot of these wrestlers, Fiend, Bray Wyatt, whatever you want to call yourself. We've heard a few wrestlers say that about the Wyatt since he's been the Fiend so far in the past, if you stop and think about it. Fiend, Bray Wyatt, whatever you want to call yourself, it's all the same. Okay, so let's address that these are the same person. It's just a split personality or whatever. All right, well, let's have Bray Wyatt, the Firefly Funhouse motherfucker, let's have him continue to play these little games, have his opponents thinking that they're going to get the nice, cuddly, friendly fucking sweater, khaki jeans or whatever type guy. And then he just busts out the fucking Fiend dude. And, you didn't see that coming, and he's winning on the psychological warfare. I need to see that Wyatt dominate more. I do. for me, I gotta tell you, seeing the stuff leading up to the match tonight, I was totally under the impression we were getting the Fiend. And the fact that we did not get the Fiend, I was very disappointed. I was very disappointed. I had a hard time really getting into the match. You know, some people, you know, and shout out to Joey and John from Soup. You know, they were bringing up the whole puppet thing by the ringside and all that. I didn't have a problem with the puppets at ringside, but to have somebody, I don't care how big and strong you are, intimidating or whatever, to have somebody be so distracted looking at puppets when you should be focusing on your opponent in the ring. Now that I do have a problem with, because when it's all said and done, it's just fucking puppets. It's not as though those cats are going to be leaping over the barricades and they're going to be coming right at you. So for me, if anything, if you ask me what I was really expecting from this matchup, I'll be honest. I was expecting, from a pre-production standpoint, based off what we had saw of Wyatt, and he had his Firefly Funhouse match with Cena, I was expecting to see a continuation of the psychological warfares. That's what I was expecting to see, just from a production standpoint. I was expecting to see something of that magnitude. Not full throttle, but I definitely was expecting to see something of that magnitude come about in the match. And the fact that we did not get that, very, very disappointed. I did like the whole Wyatt showing Strowman the sheet mask. You know, remember, we were friends, we were family. I did kind of like that little bit of touch. Seeing Strowman put on the mask, looked as though maybe he was going to be joining him. He's coming back into the fold, and then he embraced Wyatt, tricked him, and pretty much beat the shit out of him, 1, 2, 3, and everything. Yeah, I like that aspect and everything, but you know, other than that thing that I did like, as far as just overall, and weakest so far. Now, these guys are not done by a long shot as far as their feud goes. They're not done by a long shot. They've got loads more of storytelling to tell. I just don't know if it's going to get any better. I mean, I really hope that it does get better, because right now I'm just not feeling it. And I got to tease that question once again, which is, all right, assuming that after this feud is over, Strowman is still the champion, what's next on the horizon for Braun? Who is going to take that title away, possibly from Braun? Do we bring in Brock Lesnar? Remember, I teased that last week. I said, do you maybe eventually have Brock come over to the SmackDown side of things, feud with Braun Strowman for a couple of months, which would make a lot of sense, because if you stop and think about it, and I really do feel in my heart of hearts, if WWE is really smart about this, then this is the direction that they have to go. Because every single time Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar have locked up, Brock Lesnar has owned Braun Strowman's ass. He's undefeated right now, facing Braun one-on-one. So, keeping that in mind, you got a built-in storyline right there. Right there. So, I feel that's the direction that you have to go. And when you just look at this month that we're in right now, if you all are going to put me on the spot and say, okay, Lee, well, how soon do you see Brock Lesnar returning? I'm going to say Brock Lesnar returns. This is May right now. Next pay-per-view is going to be Backlash. Backlash is going to be June 14th. And then we've got Extreme Rules, which is going to be on July the 19th. I'm almost tempted to say July, I'm almost tempted to say July, but I'm actually leaning more towards SummerSlam. I'm actually leaning more towards SummerSlam. I think it's really gonna depend. I think it's really gonna depend on the social. These are this is all right. All right, feel me for a second. I think if ratings for SmackDown stays where it is right now, if it stays where it is right now, then that's a good thing. Some of you all may look at it as a bad thing, but no, it would be a good thing. It would be a good thing because it means, okay, we're staying at this level. This is actually good. So that actually might prolong Brock Lesnar returning. I definitely have him returning to feud with Braun. If you don't go in that direction, it's quite silly. I got to be honest with you. It's quite silly. Built-in storyline right there. I think that's more feasible. That's more of an investment than having Brock return and he's feuding with Drew McIntyre once again. No, just leave those two separated for as long as humanly possible. You know, if you want to have them maybe do a rematch come Survivor Series, that's if Drew is still holding the title by then. That's fine. Also remember, I've always considered, if you've been listening long enough, I've always told you guys that during the summer, this is that period where WWE likes to experiment. Okay, so this person as a champion, or okay, so we're looking at this person for a push. Okay, well, let's see what happens. And what's always been their comfort zone is, don't believe me, just kind of go back, look at the analytics of history from over the years. Whenever they felt that something hasn't quite panned out for them during the summer, by September, they usually go back to what's essentially safe, or by SummerSlam, they try to go back to what's normally safe for them as they get ready to set up the fall, because they got to do their big season premieres and all of this other shit. So if the ratings can stay where it is right now, then without a doubt, you got 2 more months of a feud between the Fiend Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman. Because like I just said, SummerSlam, that's going to be on August the 23rd. You got Extreme Rules on July the 19th. You got Backlash on June the 14th. So there's enough storytelling that you can do in setting it up. Plenty of time to figure out what's going on with this whole pandemic bullshit and everything. To Crow in the chat, coming to us via Twitch. Did you hear about the fight between Andrew McCartney and Brock Lesnar? No, I did not, my friend. Why don't you tell us what that fight had consisted of? And I'll react to it that way. I got to be honest with you. Aside from work, I actually was a bit sick over the weekend. I won't say really sick, but I would say out of 100%, I would say Friday going into Saturday, because I had worked on Saturday. I would say health-wise, I was operating at about 60%. It was really fucking bad. And I was dragging, coughing, had the nasal drip, all that shit going on. So I mostly caught up on as much rest as possible, was drinking NyQuil, not abusing it, but you guys know what I mean. But I pretty much was resting up. And Saturday I worked pretty much. If I wasn't editing, recording shows for my buddies, I was kicking back, catching up on even more rest. So I haven't really been making my rounds, seeing what's been going on the beat, as they like to call it. Let's keep on going though. But yeah, Crow, yeah, you could tell us what had happened there with regards to the fight, and I'll react to it. But we're kind of just staying with Money in the Bank for now. But that's how I'm kind of looking at things with regards to the Bray Wyatt Braun Strowman feud, and then eventually setting up the return for Braun Strowman. I think the way I've laid it out makes a lot of sense. I would like to know if you guys agree with that. If you see that's probably going to be the future for Braun, or if you got a different take, bring it to the table. Let me know what you're thinking. Drew McIntyre. Here's another. I couldn't get into this one. Drew McIntyre defeating Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship match. All due respect to Dave Meltzer and whoever else had thought this match was dynamite, 5 stars, whatever. I couldn't get into this matchup. I'm sorry. And let me be consistent. Did I not say on the show last week? I gotta refer. You notice how I'm doing a better job now? It's mental notes, and I'm also writing down notes of certain things that I say from a previous show. That way, if I need to reference something, you guys will easily know, okay, so he said according to what he said on this show, XYZ. So I hope you guys appreciate that. 2020, New Year's resolution, trying to do a better job in, connecting dots in some areas. Got to be consistent. Last Monday, I said, as I was offering preview and predictions, hey, on paper, McIntyre, Rollins, sounds pretty good. Should be a good match. Don't know what the problem's going to be. Should be a good match. I did not foresee any problems. I was kind of wrong. This match, I'm not quite sure where to put my finger on it. But it did not click. It just did not click. I really felt as though if I could really put my finger on it, I felt with this match, I was watching ballet. And what I mean by that is I felt as though I was just watching 2 guys go out there. Okay, you're going to do this. I'm going to do that. You do this, I do that. Now, before somebody becomes a smart ass and says, well, that's essentially 100%. No, what I mean by that is it really felt restrained to a degree. It felt robotic to a degree. It felt more like a spot fest than an actual match. It felt more... there wasn't really a rivalry, even though there's been weeks that was essentially built up and trying to, okay, this is your face, this is your bad guy. Seth Rollins needs to take this title away from Drew McIntyre because it's a burden for McIntyre as far as he's concerned. Oh, let's talk about burden. Left there in the sand is the burden in my hand. A little Soundgarden for you. Yeah, they didn't click. They did not click. I wish I could come on here. I really wish I could put this match over and tell you guys, because you know how I like to do it with these pay-per-views. I normally like to come on here and say, go out of your way, check out this match. Hey, while you're at it, check this one out. And I always tell you guys, if you didn't see the pay-per-view, these are the ones you go out of your way, check out first. I can't say that for this one. I just can't. And don't even get me started on what's currently going on with Drew McIntyre. And I will definitely admit to you guys what's going on with him and this new turn as far as being a babyface. I'm not really liking what's currently going on with him. It feels very forced. It feels very much like, okay, well, since Roman Reigns is out, since we ain't got him right now, and Seth Rollins can't get over worth a damn, we need somebody that can go in and can be that next big guy. We need somebody that can go in and really bring in the dollars for us. Well, shit, look at Drew McIntyre. Man, he's got a great fucking look, and yeah, he'll fucking sell. Let's make him be the guy. And I just feel it's not really It's not really clicking right now. This is one of those times right now where it's a double-edged sword when you think about it too. Because now more than ever, we really need the fans back. Because to have the fans in the arenas would really give us an indication on where they are with regards to Drew McIntyre, how they feel about him so far as a champion. And remember, right before this whole pandemic shit had went about, he was getting cheered on a lot when he was feuding with Brock Lesnar and everything, going into the Royal Rumble, actually. Then when it turned out he won the whole damn thing, they were behind him, and then right into him challenging Brock Lesnar, everybody was behind it. Right before the whole pandemic went down, the fans were behind Drew McIntyre. Now I can't help but wonder, all right, that honeymoon period is essentially over now. Are y'all still behind Drew McIntyre? Which leads me to this point, which is I think, maybe we should do a poll. Maybe we should do some type of a poll, and maybe we can have it pick up a little bit of traction on Twitter or something like that. And maybe we can have this be a poll where it's really a question than a poll. It's basically, okay, chat me up. For those of you that like Drew McIntyre or do not like Drew McIntyre, please share your thoughts. What's going on? What do you have to say about Drew? And I'm very curious what the thoughts would be for that man. Like overwhelmingly. I mean, I'd be very curious what the majority has to say about him. But I gotta be honest with you. I was enjoying heel Drew McIntyre a lot more than Lesnar. And for me, the one burning question, and I brought it up time and time again, and I'll bring it up once again, which is we never did get the definitive. Why did Drew turn all of a sudden? Why did he do a 180? What changed exactly? Now, he was hating the fans. He was telling them they can go suck it, go kick rocks, all this shit. And now he's just, I want you to take my hand. I know you're at home, you're watching TV, you're watching through your TV, your monitor, your iPad, and that's okay. We're all in this together. I want you to just reach out. I want you to take my hand. I want you to put your hand on that screen. I'm right there with you. We're gonna get through this together. It just feels so. And then when you're seeing him on Monday nights, hey, before I get on with this match, I just want to say to everybody out there at home, I love you. I appreciate you. I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I love every single one of you for everything that you people are doing out there on the front lines. I'm with you. Yeah, this match is for you. It's like, dude. It's like, stop it. It's just I'm not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it. I liked what he was doing in Impact Wrestling when he was a babyface. I can't remember the name of that stable he was in, but the stable he was in on Impact Wrestling, and he was a face. I enjoyed that run more than what I'm currently getting from McIntyre. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but that's the honest truth. But I couldn't get into that matchup. I'm sorry. McIntyre, Rollins, I just could not get into it. Seth Rollins with his new weird music, I didn't particularly care for that. It doesn't even... Yeah, this is what I understand. Whoever's doing the music in WWE, really, given everything that's going on with Seth Rollins right now, and you're trying to make a new theme for this guy, and the best thing that you could come up with is that weird ass fucking music. That music was just so... It doesn't get you off your seats. It doesn't get you excited. it doesn't evoke any type of an emotion whatsoever. You're just, oh, what's going on here? You know, if you were to tell me before tonight, hey, Seth Rollins' theme is going to be changed to try to suit what's going on with him in this whole Jesus persona thing, or Jesus personified, I would say, oh, okay, so no more burn it down. Oh, okay, well, that's kind of weird, because the way I would kind of take that whole burn it down and translate it to his current theme, he's burning the sinners. He's burning them down. But no, you just do a total overhaul. You don't even keep what was the most interesting part of his theme that had other people, oh, hey, Rollins is coming out. You just totally revamped it. Not even revamped it. You just, new song. We're not even keeping the little hook. None of that. Burn it. We're not keeping none of that. We're just doing entirely new shit. All right, so you're going to do something new. Okay. Yeah. We're going to do something new with this theme, Lee. What would you want us to try to strive for? I would say to you, okay, well, if we can do something church-like, but really pushes Depeche Mode, and, you know, mixed in with a little bit of Marilyn Manson, I think that would be kind of cool. I think that would be kind of kick-ass. Good combo, right? That's a damn good combo. What they did tonight was just, I mean, it sounded like some generic royalty-free type of, I didn't even feel the Holy Spirit. Let me put it to you that way. I didn't even feel the Holy Spirit in that shit, man. All right, so the meat and potatoes. What was the most interesting of the entire night? The Money in the Bank ladder matches. Now, I wish I could say we got this and then but that's not how WWE had did this tonight. They fused both the men and the women's Money in the Bank ladder matches. I thought this was, wow. And I got to tell you, I went into this knowing this was it, or the match before the last, I thought. But then when I saw them doing the entrances for, okay, now we're doing the men. Okay, now we're going to the women. Wait, what? Like, we're doing it like this? I didn't care about the intros. I thought the intros was kind of, that's weak sauce. And I was getting ready to change the channel because it just felt like it was already on the decline, but I just kept saying, because Michael Jordan's The Last Dance was getting ready to come on. So I was so ready to change the channel, but I said, nah, let me go ahead, let me stick with this. And, you know, after you get past the entrances, you're going, okay, all right. This seems like it's going to be a magical moment right here. This seems like it's going to be entertaining. Okay, let's see what happens here. For all the guys to basically meet up in the gym, I just thought that was... I just thought that was funny on so many levels, man, because for everybody to meet up in the gym, especially when Otis came in there, oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! And it was like, you know, you got Daniel Bryan, hey boys, yeah! You know, you got, you know, these half-naked guys just popping up in the gym, you know, draws boots on, and you're just kind of going, we are fighting here, right? You know, this isn't a case of, you show me yours, I'll show you mine. Wink, wink. You know, this isn't one of those type of moments that's getting ready to go down right now in the gym, is it? It was just, you know, Tinder dates gone wrong, was the vibe I had initially. The women were kind of funny, because when the women were meeting up in the lobby and they had their entrances and all that, when they were meeting up in the lobby, I just was going, okay, are we doing like a Awesome Con or fucking LA Comic Con meetup here, or Uh, y'all here for a Mary Kay meeting or something? Like, what's going on? That was a little bit weird too. By the way, Carmella. Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Carmella. Ooh, good God Almighty! That girl was stunningly beautiful tonight. And then there was her face. You like how I did that? Man, boob job anyone. If that was not a boob job, that is one mean ass fucking push up bra. One mean ass push up bra. Good God Almighty! Every time she was on the screen, I just couldn't help but just stare at that area the whole time. Hey man, I got no shame admitting that. I'm a man. I'm guilty, but I'm guilty. Little Al Green there. Yeah, that was. Whew, whew. She gets the nod for the night as far as what she was wearing. But I love how they fuse both of these matches. You're going into this thinking, okay, we're gonna get the men first, and then we're gonna get the women. But that's not how they did it. They basically fused both of them, and like I said, the men met up at the gym section in the headquarters. The women met in the lobby, and that was fucking cool from a production standpoint. That was cool how they had set all of that up. I love the cameos in there. Who all did we have for the cameos? We had People Power, John Laurinaitis. We had Bruce Pritchard as Brother Love coming out of the John there. That was hilarious. I guess we had a guy that was supposed to be maybe Doink the Clown. I'm not sure. We had Paul Heyman. Who else do we have in there? Stephanie McMahon made a cameo. Vince McMahon made a cameo. Who else? Probably the cameos that I was most surprised did not happen. Did not happen. I'm surprised that the Boogeyman did not make a cameo. I was also surprised Farouk did not make a cameo. That would have been nice to see Farouk make some type of a cameo. It would have been awesome. But I think that's all the cameos. No Triple H. For those of you that were maybe under the impression Triple H was maybe going to make a cameo, no Triple H cameo. I was a little bit bummed out with that. I thought for sure we were going to be getting a Triple H cameo, but the cameo spots, they were placed. It didn't feel forced in any type of way. It did feel kind of natural, and Paul Heyman's was kind of funny because Paul Heyman's, it seemed like something right from out of fucking Looney Tunes or something. He's just kicking back. He's got this big old fucking spread that's basically all to himself. And he's got sandwiches. He's got, I mean, you name it, it was fucking there. And I find it convenient that he was just the only one that was there, and he's just eating all of this. I laugh my ass off at that, and then it just turns into a whole food fight thing. I didn't particularly care for the food fight spot. I didn't particularly care for that. But it was clever how they had the brawling going on in the gym lobby for the girls. Eventually, as I mentioned, they were in the lobby, but Asuka somehow figures out a way to wave them off, gets in the elevator. Now you got the girls. Okay, so there's only one elevator? You girls aren't going to wait for the next elevator? Whatever. They decided they were going to take the stairs, so the fighting is happening through the stairs, right? So it was clever how they went about going on key levels and everything. I loved all of that. Everything eventually leading up to the rooftop. I wish they would have spent a little bit more time on the rooftop. I liked some of the shots that they had showed, but I wish they would have spent a little bit more time on that fucking rooftop, man. Asuka, your Money in the Bank winner. She got one of the briefcases. Smart. I got to tell you, I went with Shayna Baszler. The fact that Shayna Baszler did not come out of there tonight, Mrs. Money in the Bank. And I find it funny that I'm here tonight talking about Shayna Baszler because I don't want to say too much, but and the reason why I don't want to say too much is because I actually had recorded an unboxing video. I'm actually gonna upload that probably later today, maybe. I'll upload it later today. I'm going through a whole bunch of cool 8x10s and everything, and one of the 8x10s is of Shayna Baszler's autograph 8x10 by her original. And yeah, I was very candid about what I think about her current position in the company right now, and it wasn't kind. I'll be honest with you. So rather than rehash that, because I want you guys to hear that part of it and everything, what I will say new to add on top of that is that should tell you all you need to know about what certain people think and feel about Shayna Baszler at this juncture of her career on the main roster. And yes, without a doubt, these past couple of months, the real MVP that has been shining for the women on the Raw side of things has been Asuka. Asuka has been a fucking riot. And, you know, language be damned, she has beautifully gotten herself over, and it's been awesome. I love that WWE went on ahead and just, okay, she's got the hot hand right now. Let's go with her. She's definitely charismatic. She's energetic. Knows what the fuck she's doing in the ring. How many times have you heard of Asuka fucking somebody up and she's being lynched by the lynch mob on social media as a result of it? Like almost a big fat zero. It probably is a fucking zero. So I was pleasantly surprised. I actually smiled and I said, fuck yeah, when I saw Asuka had it, because, you know, our expectations of Asuka is just, you know, over the years, you know, it's just, God, they fucking her up again. And then the fact that they are going with our girl yet again, you're going, okay, all right, this is okay. But see, now the major question, which championship is she gunning for? Is she going to be gunning for Becky Lynch's title? I mean, there's some heated rivalry right there. You could almost kind of say some unfinished business right there. So, is she going to go after Becky? Lord knows the Becky Lynch show, it's just, it ain't been what it used to be. So, does she maybe go in that direction? Or does she maybe go after Bayley? Or is Bayley going to be by her lonesome because she's already preoccupied, and Sasha Banks is maybe the one that's going to be feuding with Bayley? And hey, Purple, I'm doing pretty good, man. I would say honestly, I've been feeling 90% the past couple of days, 90%. But you know, one day at a time. I'm taking my vitamin C. Got plenty of orange juice in the fridge. I didn't even buy orange juice. This just tells you how nice my girl is. My girl had heard, you know, how I wasn't feeling too good and everything, and she knows I've been, you know, I'm a diabetic anyway, so I can't really be going the extreme with the sweets. So, but you know, normally when I'm sick, she usually likes to get orange juice, and she got two. What's the one? Not Tropicana, that Nature's Made or something like that. She grabbed 2 cartons of that. I think there's a bottle of Simply Orange that's in there, and she got Harris Teeter's orange juice. I'm like, all right, we got plenty of vitamin C. And, you know, that's what everybody is saying right now anyway. They're saying, hey, you know, make sure you have a good, strong, healthy immune system. Drink plenty of orange juice. Take plenty of vitamin C. Yeah. So I've been drinking that, taking my Dayquil, NyQuil, getting as much rest as possible, staying under the covers. So I appreciate the kind words, man. Thank you so much. I definitely will keep up the great work. You know, hey, good folks like you and everybody else. And oh, thank you, man. I just saw now that Purple had did a super chat there. Am I reading that right? A super chat of $10. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. And yes, hey, as long as you keep representing and you check out the content, you know, long as good folks like you continue, man, I'll keep it rocking and rolling. I promise you, my friend. I promise you. Yeah. So I'm doing a lot better. I tell you what, I'm feeling a lot better than Friday going into Saturday. Friday, I was, like I said earlier, I was at about 60%. I was fucking dragging. I didn't want to do jack shit. Joey will tell you. Joey Numbers, he'll tell you. I was he hit me up. He was like, "Hey, you gonna be around? You think you could record?" And then he saw my post with the Dayquil water and some I can't think of the name of the chips right now, but there's these really yummy chips that I've been liking. It almost sounds, I think it's called Gardello's. It's the special request rye chips. They're brown. Oh man, I fucking love those things. Those things are fucking delicious, man. So when I was sick, I barely had an appetite. So all I was doing was water, a little bit of orange juice, and I was nibbling on those, and I'd go right back to sleep, you know, chugging on fucking Dayquil, NyQuil. And I feel I'm 90% now. I'm feeling pretty good. Um, the right girl won as far as Asuka goes. The right girl had won. Everything that she's been doing these past couple of months, she's been on fucking fire. Like I said, does she go after Becky Lynch? You know, makes all the sense in the world. I would like to see a new Raw champion, honestly. I think Bayley's preoccupied right now. I think eventually she is going to be taking on Sasha. Do you maybe have Asuka reignite her feud with Charlotte? Does maybe Charlotte come on over, take the NXT title off of Charlotte, and then help out on NXT for a little bit, trying to help enhance the talents over there even more? Maybe even have a really cool ass match against Io Shirai, maybe ultimately putting her over as the new champion. Kind of just think about that now. I'm thinking about how the brands could really, NXT would really benefit from Asuka helping them out for a hot little bit, especially if this pandemic shit is going to continue to go on. You feel where I'm coming from? Otis winning the Money in the Bank, I don't really think anybody should be surprised at that, because Otis kind of let it slip in a interview from a few days ago that if he were to challenge, or correction, if he were to win the Money in the Bank briefcase, he would challenge for the tag titles. I wish I was trolling you guys, and had I known that, you know, like I said, I really, after we got done with the Monday show, I pretty much was just focusing on work and, you know, just kind of laying low for a bit. I really wasn't dipping into headlines and all of that. If I had came across that, trust me, I definitely would have did a revision. You know, if I'd have known about it Thursday, I would have went on social media. Hey, based off of this intel, this is what I'm going with. This is what's going to be going down. But, I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. That's very specific. So when you hear that, just close your eyes and just think about what I just told you. If Otis is saying this days before the pay-per-view, wait a minute, that sounds so... Oh, the WWE just... And I hear, I'll have to rely on you guys. I'll know once the show is over. But I hear in a WWE.com exclusive interview, Otis has apparently already declared he's going to be gunning for the tag team titles. Okay, so now the question is, which tag team titles are you going to be gunning for? Are you going to be gunning for the tag titles from the New Day? Or are you going to be going after the Raw tag team titles? Which, by the way, is anybody else a little bit surprised that we did not have the Raw tag team titles on the card for tonight. I mean, just really stop and think about that tonight. I mean, if we're being kind of honest here, you know, we had some people that were missing from this joint tonight. We had no appearance by Becky Lynch, even though they've already said she's going to be on Monday's WWE Raw. Still, would have been nice to at least hear her on commentating. We couldn't have Becky Lynch, you know, via Zoom or Google Hangout or whatever. We couldn't patch her in with the commentators, which, by the way, the commentators did a great job. I believe it was Tom Phillips, Samoa Joe. I can't think who the last guy was. You guys got to forgive me. I'm drawing a blank on Tom Phillips, Samoa Joe. I don't think it was Byron. I can't recall who the third guy was on commentating tonight. But you're telling me you couldn't pipe in Becky Lynch just so she can, you know, have her there, pipe her in, pipe in Charlotte, pipe in Bailey. We couldn't do that. That would have made things pretty worthwhile. We didn't have the United States champion in the house. We didn't have the Intercontinental champion in the house. And like I said, we didn't have the Raw tag titles represented and everything. So, but of course, at the same time, you want those. That means the pay-per-view was going to be longer. So which one do you want? Do you want a shorter pay-per-view, or do you want both? Can both be obtained? Yeah, stuff that makes you go, yeah, good point. Otis, though, I mean, that's very interesting. I've never heard of. It's an interesting storyline, and there's no stipulation or anything in there that even says you can't go for the tag team titles. You could pretty much go for whichever championship you want to go for. So for me, it makes more sense, going back to what I had said earlier. It makes all the sense in the world that Otis and Tucker go after the New Day for the tag titles. I think the bigger rub they would successfully get from them. I think that would really, really help put them on the map. And not for nothing, this isn't the first time that I've said I've wanted for Otis and Tucker to go over on New Day. Because I remember there was a time where shortly after Heavy Machinery got on the SmackDown roster, I actually remember a time when New Day and Usos both were at one point the tag champions, and I wanted for Heavy Machinery to get the titles off one of those guys. And for some respected reason, it did not happen. Well, now you fast forward, and boom, this is where we are now. Yeah, no Sami Zayn either. Purple saying in the chat, no Sami Zayn was there either. Exactly. It's a whole lot of people were missing. But for me, it makes the bigger sense to have Otis, Tucker go after. But then the other thing that you got to think about is how much of a factor is Dolph Ziggler maybe going to continue to play? How much of a continued thorn is he going to be in Otis's side? And can we still possibly get Tucker? You know, maybe putting in the seeds there where Heavy Machinery eventually breaks up. Kind of like what Tyler is saying via Facebook. Tyler's saying via Facebook they need the belts and the Vikings need the other. Yeah, I think you know, if you look at the current landscape right now for over on the Raw side of things, yeah, I think Vikings as the tag champions, that works perfect for me right now. It works perfect. They're finally starting to really connect, I think, with the fans. You know, it's taken a while, but it seems that they're finally starting to connect. I kind of feel that. What I feel, but what I'm seeing on TV versus what the fans, if they were able to be live in the arenas, is different, obviously. But it just kind of feels like, okay, they're clicking now. They're resonating well off the TV. But man, I can't wait for things to start to get remotely back to normal. We can start seeing fans in attendance, and because we all are so reactionary. You know, there was ever a time where we're really left to our own devices and we're really thinking for ourselves, just, okay, you know, it's right now. But we tend to be so reactionary when we get the other fans in the house and all that, man. So I can't wait for shit to get back to normal. I really, really can't. I hope it gets back to normal real soon. But a lot of stuff to think about right there. One thing's for certain. If you follow me on Twitter, I said to you guys, the real bold prediction is who the hell is going to be going off of the roof. And I told you guys my picks. If you miss it, you can see it on Twitter. It's not deleted. You see the timestamp and everything. I said my picks. I would like to see Lacey Evans get thrown off the roof because I want to see her get repackaged. And the other person that I went with was Rey Mysterioso. So I got Mysterio right. The other person that got thrown off the roof, apparently it was Aleister Black. And I believe both were thrown off by Baron Corbin. So what was even more hilarious, this is what I don't understand. So we're going to pretend that these people got thrown off the roof. Because, I mean, look, the whole point of having a type of match like this, somebody's got to be thrown off the roof. Come on. Come on. Somebody's got to be thrown off the roof. So then the question becomes, was it really worth it, right? No, it wasn't, because you're dead. Okay, so two people got thrown off the roof, but can I just put this question to you guys that watched the pay-per-view? Why were there no screams? How come when Rey Mysterio got thrown over the roof, he didn't scream? How come when Aleister Black got thrown off the roof, he did not scream? Now, I know Aleister Black is like this cult, demonic. I can just see him doing the whole, "I touch of evil." I can just see him, you know, I'm here to do the devil's work. I can just see him coming back just like that, because he's into this satanic, you know, voodoo, whatever, you know, he's like the Undertaker. I can see some shit that would explain him. Rey Mysterio, though. So what's next? Now that Rey Mysterio has been thrown off the roof, and I just keep thinking of that old school Motown song, "Up on the Roof." Now that that's happened, do we insert Dominic into the picture to try to extract revenge on behalf of his dad? I mean, it's right there if we're trying to figure out where we're going next. It seems like that's, you know, that's the next step that we're going. And because, I mean, picture it. It's right there on the silver platter. Hey, we haven't seen Rey Mysterio in a couple of weeks. You know, we've reached out to the Mysterio family. We hope to get an update soon. And then you have Dominic. You know, Dominic joins them and tells them, you know, the update. Freaking Corbin comes out talking mad shit, right? You got to time it just right, because remember, one thing that I did call for was Elias causing Baron Corbin Money in the Bank. I did say that. Go back to Monday, listen to it again. That did happen. Elias came out of nowhere, hit Baron Corbin, kind of like in the closing moments of after the first briefcase was obtained by Asuka. He kind of came in there in the closing moments, cracked Baron Corbin over the back with a guitar. That pretty much took him out of the equation. Okay, so they're going to be busy for a little bit. But you definitely now have Rey Mysterio off TV. You got to sell that. Even if those guys didn't, let's just say Rey Mysterio. Let's just stay with Rey Mysterio, because we know Aleister Black is supernatural. Let's just say Rey Mysterio did not literally fall all the way down. Let's just say he fell a few stories. You know, he's injured. He's out for some weeks. Okay, he's out for some weeks. That's enough time for Elias and Baron to do their thing. Elias gets his comeuppings. And then you can have Dominic. And I keep going on and on about Dominic because I know he's been trained these past couple of years. He's got an in-ring wrestling name ready and everything. So do we eventually maybe have him get into the ring here against Baron, try to extract revenge on behalf of his daddy. He comes up short. Ray Ray comes back. You know, yeah, I agree, Tyler. The camera angles were pretty bad too. I mean, if there was ever a time to, it was definitely kind of bad. I understand why they were shooting that shit at night now, because they were trying to get away with a lot of shit. But overall, I would say the pay-per-view scale of 1 to 10. I'm gonna give the pay-per-view a 6 out of 10. I appreciate the effort that was made. I always appreciate when the men and women, they come into this, they do what they can to entertain us. I always appreciate that. So I always think about the men and women that get into the ring. I always think about things from a production standpoint. So 5 by default. But when I think about the main meat and potatoes, which was the 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches and how both of those were fused, that was really what this was all about. That was the whole point in watching this year's Money in the Bank. As far as the other matches go, I honestly could have done without. It felt, honestly, like I was watching an episode of Raw or SmackDown, which has been the drizzles these past several weeks. With the exception of Bayley taking on Tamina. I'm sorry, I wish it was Becky. With the exception of Bayley taking on Tamina, which I thought was a really good match. Other than that match, the 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches, that was the whole point in watching this. So a 6 out of 10 for me is what I would give for this pay-per-view. One more time, I want to see what's going on with the polls here. And you can cast your vote. We got a poll on, I know there's no Facebook poll. I wish there was a Facebook poll for you guys, but Facebook has removed that feature. If there was a way for me to activate it, I would gladly freaking activate it, but there's no way. They removed it, as far as I can tell. So if you guys know something I don't know, let me know. But we got 2 polls. One is on YouTube and the other one is on Twitter. One more time, let's look at what you guys had said on Twitter. So we polled our own respected followers at the RCWR show, and I see that we have 26.1% that's giving the pay-per-view a thumbs up, thumbs down. Meanwhile, 73.9% are giving it a thumbs up. We did poll folks on the official WWE Twitter account. 32.7% are giving it a thumbs down. 67.3% are giving it a thumbs up. Let's see what's going on with you guys on YouTube. Go over on youtube.com/the RCWR show /community. You can see the poll there. Now I'm seeing for the poll on there, 20% of you are giving it a thumbs down. 80% of you are giving it a thumbs up. And I would just like to believe that when it's all said and done, probably the majority of us that's giving it a thumbs up is probably giving it a thumbs up mainly because of the 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches. And let me just say this before we get ready to roll out. Anybody that is taking a shit on the Money in the Bank ladder matches, just bashing it from a production standpoint and all of this other shit, talking about how hokey dokey it was. Oh, silly as fuck, silly, stupid as fuck. Just remember something. This past Wednesday on AEW Dynamite, we saw a GIF that just keeps on giving. And not GIF like, you know, I'm giving you a present. I mean GIF, you know, which saw Kenny Omega and Matt Hardy run down Sammy Guevara, and everybody was just going on and on about how, and I did praise that. I did praise that Street Fight Falls Count Anywhere match. I did praise it. But, you know, just remember, you get where I'm going with that? So anybody that you see that wants to try to bash what went down with those 2 Money in the Bank matches tonight, you know, you be real quick and say, well, wait a minute now. At least be consistent. If you're going to bash this, then you need to bash this over here as well. So just kind of food for thought right there. So programming notes. All right. So I was recording and editing for my buddies over at Wrestling Soup Saturday night and partly tonight. I actually have to edit what they did with their Money in the Bank post show. So yeah, it's gonna kind of be a long night for me. So and then I gotta edit my audio and get that out. The streams are good, but I do have to release the audio for on demand and on the downloads for folks to check out. And then, okay, short turnaround, handful of hours later for a Monday night show. Ooh. So we're not going to do a Monday night show. However, I am going to be doing a Thursday show for you guys. Again, I am going to be doing a Thursday show for you guys. I would like to say to you guys that, I should be able to do something Wednesday night after AEW Dynamite and NXT goes off the air. I don't want to chance it. I don't want to tell you guys there's going to be a show Wednesday and then say, nah, I'm actually going to do something on Thursday. So what I'll say to you guys is expect a Thursday show. However, if I can pull off doing a Wednesday show, and the reason why I say if I can pull off a Wednesday show is because I always work Wednesday nights. And so by the time I get off, it's 9. But I really want for you guys to start expecting Thursday to kind of be the new norm. Because, knock on wood, the missus and everybody at the 2 offices, her co-workers, because they all actually got furloughed. They all were working at a dental office. So, healthcare, but they were working dental. They all got furloughed for like about a month and a half, but now they all have been reactivated. So they all are now going to be going in for training this week. And then I think, actually, no, they're going to be training for the next 2 weeks. I think this week is going to be about scheduling people, getting everything set up. And then the following week is going to be the training. And then the week after that, everybody is back. But as we speak, everybody is back on the payroll as of tonight. So she has been my lifesaver during this whole shit. With the new job, because she's been able to pick me up from work, take me to work, take me going and coming. And when it's a short drive, that's only, 20 minutes at most. So now I'm going to have to start flying solo for a little bit. And we only got one car right now because we got the other one that's in the shop. So no wheels right now for me. So I sadly have to take public transportation. Ew. So my commuting is going to be a bit longer. So instead of 20 minutes, I'm probably going to have to be doing public transportation for probably about an hour, maybe like an hour 15. So just picture that. If I'm getting in at like 10 something on a Wednesday night, there's really no way I can cram everything I need to cram in, watch the shows, and then come on at 11. That, you guys will admit that's impossible. So if something were to happen where I think I can pull off a Wednesday show, because I think with her schedule, at least for this week, I think she's doing 8 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. I got to double check. If that's the case, I might be able to still do a Wednesday night show. But as long as you're staying connected on social media, you guys will definitely know whether or not there's going to be a show. That's the bottom line. I'm sorry if that was a little long-winded. I just like being transparent with you guys and just, being as honest as possible, let you guys know what's going on. Because last thing I want is you guys to be like, okay, he said there was a show. Now there's no show. What the fuck is going on? So I'm just keeping it real with you guys. All right. So meantime, stay connected to me. Once again, if you enjoyed the show, you liked what I did, please, one of the things you can do, it doesn't cost you a thing, share, keep the comments rolling in, hearts. If you're watching via YouTube, hit the like button. I mean, YouTube pays attention to the retention, and the retention for all the stuff we've been putting out on YouTube has been great, but I want to see the likes go up more, especially since we're dealing with bogus dislike bot mob that's going on. That's why if you notice, most times we have the videos, the it's disabled. The like dislike is disabled because somebody comes on and they see, he's got 12 likes and he's only got 2 dislikes. I'm gonna fucking, and the next thing you know, they hit the fucking, it's stupid. But if you enjoy the content, make sure you hit the like button because YouTube does pay attention, small fraction, to what's going on with those likes in the algorithm. And that's basically YouTube's way of saying to other people, hey, you like WWE, you like wrestling. Okay, well, check this guy out. This guy's shit is good. We recommend you check it out. The retention is good and, you know, good traffic over here. Really helps out more people be able to discover the content with more ease. Shout out to everybody that had popped up tonight, be it live and everything. That was great. That's great. I like that at this time that, you know, we're here, you know, almost 2 a.m. You know, a decent amount of you guys had showed up and everything, and I appreciate that. Shout out to Tyler. Shout out to Purple, once again, Purple. Thank you for the super chat. Also shout out to Ghost, Chrome. You never did follow up with me on the Andrew McCartney Brock Lesnar thing, so now I'm gonna have to research that, and you know, maybe I'll have to dive into that a little bit on the Wednesday show, right? Makes a lot of sense. Shout out to everybody else that's going to be checking this out on demand and on the downloads. Until the next go round, my friends, please be safe and most importantly, be kind to one another. And if you can help it, stay at home. Stay safe, stay at home. I will check you guys out next go round. Y'all do take care.